You stand up with a clear purpose. You know exactly what you need, exactly where you're going. You walk into the next room, and it's gone. You stand there, blank, staring at the room as if it might remind you. It doesn't. It happens to everyone, the young, the sharp, the people who never forget a birthday. And we hand ourselves the same easy explanation. I'm getting forgetful. My memory is going. But that explanation is wrong. So here's the challenge. Can you keep a single thought through a single doorway? Because your brain may have already decided that you can't. Start by clearing away the easy answers. It isn't age. Children do it too. It isn't a weak memory. It strikes people with extraordinary memories just the same. And it isn't simply distraction. Because the forgetting has a pattern, a strangely specific one. It's tied almost perfectly to one ordinary thing. The doorway. Researchers tested this directly. They had people learn something, then move to a table in the same room, and recall stayed strong. But when they walked the very same distance and passed through a doorway into a new room, the forgetting spiked. Same effort, same distance, the same number of seconds. The only thing that changed was the door. They wondered if the new room was simply distracting, so they sent people back, through the doorway, into the original room. The memory didn't fully return. They even rebuilt the whole thing in virtual reality, where the rooms were identical and there was nothing new to see. The effect held. The doorway alone was doing it. So the door isn't a coincidence. To your brain, walking through it means something. The question is, what? Your life feels like one smooth, continuous stream. It isn't. Quietly, behind the scenes, your brain is chopping that stream into pieces, into scenes, into chapters. Psychologists call these chapters events. The moment one ends and the next begins is an event boundary. At every boundary, your brain does a small piece of housekeeping. It wraps up what just happened, files it away, and clears the desk for whatever comes next. A doorway is one of the strongest event boundaries there is. Stepping through it tells your brain, in a language older than words, that chapter is over. A new one begins now. So it does exactly what it was built to do. It closes the previous scene. And your reason for moving was written on that scene. Your intention was never stored in some deep vault. It was held lightly, on a mental notepad meant to last only a moment. When the chapter closed, the notepad was wiped. That's why standing in the new room doesn't help. You're searching this new chapter for something filed under the old one. And it's why walking back can suddenly work. Return to where the thought was formed, the chapter reopens, and there it is, waiting. The forgetting was never random. It was your brain, keeping a tidy desk. Now here's the part the famous version never tells you. This is not a flaw, it is the entire point. Imagine nothing was ever filed away. Every thought, every room, every conversation of your whole day, all on the desk at once, equally loud, all the time. You couldn't think, you couldn't find a thing. Forgetting on purpose is how a mind stays usable. Boundaries keep this morning apart from last Tuesday, the kitchen apart from the office, one task apart from the next. The very mechanism that loses your thought in a doorway is the reason you can remember your life as a story at all. In chapters you can actually find again. You don't have a bad memory, you have an organized one. And organization always has a price. Once you can see event boundaries, you start seeing them everywhere. Films are built from them. A cut to a new scene tells your brain a chapter has ended, and you accept the leap in time and place without a flicker of confusion. Every notification that pulls you away, every tab you switch to, every glance at your phone, each one is a tiny doorway, a boundary that quietly closes whatever you were holding. It's why a fresh start feels real. A new year, a new room, a clean desk. Your mind genuinely treats it as a new chapter, with the old one set down. You're not living one long, seamless day. You're living a series of rooms. And your brain is the editor, deciding where each scene begins and where it ends. So, can you keep a thought through a doorway? Yes, but only if you outsmart your own editor. You can walk back and reopen the chapter where the thought was born, Or you can refuse to let it be filed at all. Say it out loud, picture the thing you need, and carry it across the boundary on purpose. Hold the intention out in the open, and the doorway can't quietly close it. But notice what you're really doing. You're not repairing a broken mind. You're overriding a system that works exactly as designed, one that serves you far more often than it ever fails you. The blank moment in the doorway isn't your memory failing. It's the small, visible cost of a brain that turns the endless blur of being alive into something you can hold, a life made of chapters. So the next time you walk into a room and stand there, empty, give your brain a little credit. It didn't lose the thought, it simply closed one chapter and opened the door to the next. Want to find the next hidden chapter? Subscribe and walk through the next door with me.